Perreault from RE/MAX with your weekly home update for the Portland metro area with data through the week ending June 16th and including Clark County, Washington, such as Vancouver, etc. Mortgage rates have remained on the lower end of what we've seen in recent months, but we continue to see downward pressure on sales prices in Portland metro real estate, at least so far this month. Is this something seasonal? Is there a bit of buyer fatigue? Continued affordability problems? Let's look at the numbers. The average sales price in Portland metro increased by about 2% over the previous week and roughly the same time period last year. That's not great news for buyers who are facing affordability problems, but it's also not great news for homeowners who are nervous about their equity, mainly because a 2% increase in equity from last year is below the current rate of inflation. As I mentioned last week, it appears that we are beginning to see some nice price compression in our year-over-year numbers, which I will be closely monitoring. Keep in mind that this represents our entire metro-wide sample and all real estate is local. Some areas are performing better than others. Demand appears to be holding steady, though it has slowed slightly since last year. For the first time in about 6 weeks, the number of purchase contracts agreed to by buyers and sellers was lower than what we saw around the same time last year. It was a pretty strong number, just not quite as strong as we might like it to be. The supply of homes is still rising, as it typically does this time of year. We did see a healthy number of homes hit the market last week, but year over year, margins remained unchanged. For the third week in a row, buyers have had 32% more homes to choose from than last year at this time. So, if buyers could only find 3 homes that met their criteria in 2023, they'll now have 4 options this year. Hopefully there's more than 3 in the first place. Let's talk mortgage rates. At the end of last week, the best advertised mortgage rate for a 30-year fixed was 6.375%. Keep in mind, this is a best case scenario. Most borrowers, due to FICO scores or other factors, will end up with a higher rate than this, and there's a wide range of rates among lenders. The average offer from lenders is likely to be in the high 6 figures. Last week, we received several better than expected inflation and employment reports. This pushed interest rates lower. What's new this week? If you recall last week, the Fed announced that they're only anticipating 1 rate cut before the end of this year, down from their previous expectation of 3 cuts. The only new information was an announcement that the cut would most likely occur in December. So, as I mentioned last week, we'll probably have rates in the 6s for a while here. There are no significant changes in the number of distressed properties on the market. It's typically very small here in Portland. We saw a slight increase in the number of pre-foreclosure and bank-owned properties, but the numbers remain well within the margins seen over the last 18 months or so. We just don't have a ton of that in Portland. We may as variable rate mortgages start to adjust. To sell their home successfully, sellers had to discount their original asking price by slightly more than 2% on average. That is not too bad, but keep in mind that sellers are likely giving buyers additional concessions, such as paying for closing costs, performing repairs, or purchasing home warranties for their benefit. That is very different from the recent frenzy market years, when buyers received no concessions and paid significantly more than they asked. Well, you've made it to the end of the report again. I hope today's report was informative and helpful. If you have any questions or thoughts, please send me an email at lauren@PDX Homes for Sale, subscribe to this newsletter or our YouTube channel, or give me a call at 503-683-1885, or send it by carrier pigeon. I also do Twitter and Facebook and Messenger and Instagram, so there's lots of ways to reach me. Please also feel free to share this newsletter with anybody who may be concerned about the real estate market. Have a great week, and I'll see you right here next week.